So it's the off season. So it's time for players to get surgeries and get things done that they wanted to get done throughout the season, but they really couldn't because they're playing football. And that's exactly what Sam Hubbard did. He went ahead and got an extensive ankle surgery. Remember last year, Sam Hubbard had a great year. Not as fantastic as Trey Hendrickson, because Trey Hendrickson got to a point where he almost beat out TJ Watt and was up there for the most sacks for the single season. Sadly, the Browns game, he didn't get that many sacks. He could have actually broke the record, which is... I digress. So, Trey Hendrickson dealt with injuries, and same thing with Sam Hubbard. So, the offseason from around January, mid-January to around early July, you want to get done these things. These surgeries, you want to get done any type of, looking with doctors at your body to make sure you're okay, make sure there's no problems moving forward. Because once July kicks in, the end of July, you're right back in it, right? July, August, September, October, November, December, January, you're back into every single day working out, training, playing at a high level. You don't have time to do all this kind of stuff. So that's why you do it in the offseason. Even players who, technically speaking, might not be injured, in theory, like injured to a point where it's like, oh, I can't walk or I have problems walking, they still get these surgeries. And the reason why is because you want to, precautionary. That's all this is. At the end of the day, it's just precautionary. So, Sam Hubbard got an extensive surgery. Thankfully, it actually went all perfect. He said, I'm thankful that I made it out with no cartilage damage and stuff like that. But it's all fixed. He continues to say, there was a lot of instability in the ankle that we found out later. Probably should have fixed earlier, but you didn't know until we went in there. And the problem with Sam Hubbard, right, and I'm not saying, problems in the player, is the age. He's 29 years old. Trey Hendrickson's 30 years old. And the reason why I keep bringing in Trey Hendrickson here is because the older you get, the harder it is to recover from injuries. Even though I always say defensive linemen, they age like fine wine. The older they get, the better they get. At the end of the day, the human body, it's just a fact. The older you get, the harder it is to recover from injuries. It's the harder it is for you to go through injuries and be able to still play at a high level. That's why, again, these surgeries, they are so important. And thankfully, he ended up being okay. But again, these are problems, as he said, he's dealt with pretty much the whole entire year. He said, I kind of wanted to just get out there and was doing the best I could. And he's speaking to, obviously, dealing with these injuries throughout the season, but he didn't want to be off the field. He wanted to help us out and contribute as much as possible, even though he did have injuries. And again, that's kind of the worst thing possible when it comes to injuries, is trying to play through them. But as a football player, you're getting paid to play through them. You're not getting paid to sit on the sideline and do nothing, right? So, at the end of the day, well, yeah, you want to, be like, okay, I want to rest up, protect my body, and make sure, I'm doing my best for me. You also have this kind of, mentality of, I want to also do what's best for the team. So, he continues, said, I didn't want to just burn the film from the back half of last year. I did want to burn that film from the back half of last year, but I'm going to get back to my old self. Got a long offseason of work ahead, and I'm excited to get back with the guys. And yeah, again, like I said, I'm not surprised that he is very upset with his production at the end of last year when he had an injury. But that's part of football, right? It's really hard for any player, no matter what the position is, to stay fully healthy throughout the whole entire season and play at a very high level. Now, I will speak of the elephant in the room of those who do comment on my videos and say that we should go ahead and get rid of Sam Hubbard or Trey Hendrickson. I think Hendrickson isn't as much. There are some people who say we should get rid of Hendrickson. And the reason why for Hendrickson, by the way, is that if we cut him now, we would save $5 million. If we cut him post-June 1st, it would be around $10 million savings, which, again, I don't ever agree with. I think that he gives us way more than he's worth. Obviously, he restructured his contract last year and changed it around a little bit. So I'm cool. I want him on the team as long as possible. But there are people who really try to go for the Hubbard angle because of the fact we would save $6.1 million right now, and if we cut him, that's post June 1st. If we cut him right now, we save $2.1 million. It's going to be a total of what's it called? It's a total of $6 million if we cut him post June 1st. But again, like I said, I don't want to. I want him on the team as much as possible. And it's not just because he's a Cincinnati kid and, he loves to be on he loves us and we love him. It's also the fact that he still contributes at a high level for us. And even if, he does have a little bit down of a season because of injury or whatever the case, and I know he's older, he still is great leader to other players on the team like Myles Murphy, whoever we end up drafting. But again, at the end of the day, this is a business. And when you're sitting there with a price tag of $10.1 million, which really is not that much for a defensive end, but when you go ahead and go out there in this upcoming draft, and if you draft an edge rusher or a pass rusher, and let's say Myles Murphy has a really good season next year and he's looking amazing, yeah, there might be talks about it at the end of next year, but that's the end of next year. That's not right now. Right now, we're living in the present, and the present says Sam Hubbard is going to be a member of this team for at least this upcoming season. Tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.